You're listening to the world-famous White Roof Radio, Woofcast number 648, recorded September 12th, 2018. Tonight brought to you by CravenSpeed.com, MotoringStripes.com, and OutMotoring.com. Mini performance, speed, and style. It's OutMotoring.com. Ready? Ready one? Ready? Here we go. Hey everybody, it's DB in Arizona with a brand new episode of the world famous White Roof Radio. We're talking about Mini Coopers, oddly enough, on whatever night this is, like we like to do. Joined this week, my good pal, Mr. Pearson himself, Todd Pearson, MotoringStripes.com. Todd, say hi.
Or as I'm now known by my rap name, DJ Blockchain.
DJ Blockchain. Jesus, I don't even know where that came from. Okay.
I didn't know you rap.
We have the good Reverend, as you heard, Mr. Chad Miller from Detroit Tune, the new and improved DetroitTune.com. You should go check that out. Chad, say hi.
It's a much cleaner layout.
So nice. It really is so nice. And then, of course, Mr. Gabe Bridger is with us as well from MotoringFile.com. Gabe.
Hi, how are you?
Gabe, we're fine. Gabe, what is your rap name?
Well, in college, I was a DJ for a long time.
Uh-huh.
And I was affectionately known as DJ Downgrade.
Okay, I like that. Okay. Mine is, I'm just DJ Donnie B.
My buddy's name was DJ Just in Time.
I like that.
Oh, I see what happened there.
Justin.
Very nice. We're going to talk about Mini Cooper stuff tonight. I have to close this tab because we're not talking about that. We are going to talk about a new ad campaign that MINIUSA is launching, which is actually, I think, is kind of cool. Todd thinks it's not kind of cool, and Gabe thinks it's kind of cool, so that'll be a fun conversation. We're also probably going to talk about the ruckus that Gabe started this week because he decided to write about BMW possibly killing the Mini 3-door hatch. So it's pretty exciting.
Maybe not.
Yeah, and then whatever else happens to come about, you know, there was an Apple event today, so heck, we might end up talking about Apple stuff too. We're going to get to all that here in just a minute. Before we do, and everybody's being really quiet again, it's freaking me out just a little bit.
Well, I was going to wait for you to stop because I was like, I'm more of a pear guy.
Oh, I see what you did.
Yeah, right?
And
Wow.
I'm drinking beer tonight instead of actual bourbon, so it's a whole different effect, and I'm thinking about going to switch my drinks
I
up.
was going to say, Chad, you need like 6 or 7 of them before you get to
Well, this was a liter of beer. It wasn't just like
Whoa.
8 beer.
the leader.
Well,
It was,
to some people, that is a beer.
Chad's sucking down a 40 over there.
two pints of beer in that liter of beer.
Is it in a paper bag, though, Chad? That's
No. There's no malt in this beer at all.
Oh, dude. Then why? What are you even doing, Chad?
Oh, I'm
You're gonna
practicing for Christmas. Gingerbread stouts. They're on the way.
Okay. Speaking of beer, hey, this is fun and exciting. Speaking of beer, as I checked into my 500th unique beer on Untapped this week. I was very excited about that. I was very excited. Anyway,
You win.
Well, that's not really, but anyway.
I have a friend who's at 5 digits, by the way.
Yeah, and he probably checks in every time he sips on a beer, and those people don't count. My check-ins are all on full pints. So
Your
I'm
check-ins
in,
you only check in when you actually fall down drunk.
well, I've tried that, and you actually don't get check-ins when you fall down drunk because, well, nothing works.
Because you forget.
You forget. It's like going to a beer. Anyway, that's for Ride Bikes Radio. Tune in. We're going to talk more about that later. But for right now, let's get started. Let's remind you guys, one of the fine sponsors here underneath the white roof, our friends over at Outmotoring, outmotoring.com. Why did I not have the Outmotoring tab open? You guys know them. Because you guys have already bought a whole bunch of stuff, but you need more stuff. You always need more Mini Cooper stuff. And you can get more Mini Cooper stuff over at outmotoring.com. You just search for a keyword or item number at the top of the screen, and boom, it returns whatever it is you are looking for. I'm going to look for, this will be for Gabe, I'm going to look for shoes. We're going to do a search for shoes at outmotoring.com because I want Mini Cooper shoes. Why not? Because when you do a search for shoes, holy crap. Aaron sells, what is that? Like 20 different kinds of shoes. Driving shoes. Boom. Done. 28 results for shoes. Go over there, check it out. Plus also for brakes and stuff too. But go check it out. Don't forget, Motoring Awards, So you get points, earn cash as you shop. Aaron's going to make sure you get the right parts for your car. And he even tells you which car you've got. There's a little drop-down thing right there. If you're a Mini Cooper club or you're running a big Mini Cooper event and you're looking for giveaways or something like that, Aaron will totally work with you, hook you up with some really cool stuff to give away, swag, and possibly even some kick-ass gift certificates. Free shipping if you spend more than $195. 100% happiness guarantee. And a hitch for your Mini so you can pull stuff. Or, carry bicycles or whatever. All that and more, and when I talk about outmotoring, you guys know this already, but just to be on the safe side, outmotoring is literally your Mini Cooper parts desk in the cloud. Anything that you need for your Mini, anything that you need for your Mini, you can get from outmotoring. Fix-it parts, go fast parts, personal stuff, hats, shirts, shoes, watches, that kind of thing. A full line of car care products as well. Go over there, check it out. Don't forget to sign up for the email newsletter, top of the page. You get an email every now and again, and in that email, you get a 5% discount code. Boom. Done and done. Go over and do that now, please, if you would be so kind. So as we're coming up on the silly season. You got to have somebody in your life that likes Mini Cooper stuff. You can find all kinds of really cool trinkets and things to put underneath the tree at outmotoring.com. Just saying. But that is our friends over at Outmotoring. Outmotoring.com. Mini Performance Speed and Pilates Super Strata in Camel. That's at outmotoring.com.
Trinkets don't stuck.
What? Chad, just go back to your beer, Chad.
Chad started the bourbon early.
and so enters the news music, and so we click over to motoringfile.com. Let's start with the easy one. Well, let's start with the So MINIUSA is creating a new marketing campaign.
No, it's not listed as a market. No, let me just clarify this.
Oh, that's what Gabe wrote.
It's called a creative campaign, and that's directly from the press release.
That's to be clear. That's what Mini wrote. But go ahead.
Oh,
okay,
got it. So what they're doing is they've created a series of stop motion videos. One of them's available on motoringfile.com right now. The rest will be available later. And they were completely designed to be filmed within the boot of a Countryman.
Yes, there's three stop motion.
Cool.
Videos.
Yeah, and Todd's guess, and my guess too, is that they're doing this because, first of all, there's no making you guys happy. Number one, first of all, you think the Countryman's too big, and I'll tell you right now that it's not, because Todd drove one, I rode in it. It's not too big. Second of all, you guys think the Countryman's too small. So for those of you who think the Countryman's too small, well, here you go.
Yeah,
they're making space videos in the boot.
It's crazy to think about, but I think they've probably gotten some marketing feedback or some market research feedback on the new Countryman. It's been out for a couple of years now, and my guess is people are like, well, this is not big enough for whatever reason. And these are people who don't have them, because right. I got to say, my in-laws bought one a few months ago, and they came from a Honda CR-V, and they told me last week, went and put stripes on it. They're like, you know what, this car, they go, it's got so much more room than the CR-V. Even though technically on paper it doesn't, right. They feel like it's bigger, yet it's more fun to drive and smaller and easier to park. All of the things it should be.
Right.
So I think the reality is once you have it and once you drive it, you realize all of your preconceptions are blown right out of.
But I think you said right there is once you have it and once you drive it, and I think that's key, and that a lot of people, first of all, and I think a lot of the commenters at Motoring File are part of this group, if we've never even gone to the dealer to see one, or sit in one, or test drive one, right? And I think they're doing these videos to kind of get people maybe to go do that, maybe. Gabe, what do you think?
I think here's the deal. Like they have created interesting content that is telling consumers that the Countryman is bigger than it would appear in an interesting way. On top of that, they're associating the Mini brand with artists and just, again, interesting content. It's sort of selling the Mini brand by association with cool shit.
Right.
Sorry.
No, you're right. You're right. Okay.
So, point there is that I think it's a sort of a classic way to market a product that doesn't feel like it's a sleazy ad. I mean, let's be honest. How many?
It's no cram it in the boot.
well, no, nothing will ever touch that. How many advertisements have we seen from Ford, GM? Like, there's so many advertisements, if you will, for cars out there, whether they be on the interwebs, whether they be on TV, whether they be on whatever, that just make you feel kind of like it's insulting. You know, they're insulting your intelligence.
The Toyota radio ads come readily to mind.
Yeah, this is one that's not insulting our intelligence.
Yes, I agree.
It's showing us something rather interesting, and as it's doing that, it's making a pretty clever point. Mm-hmm. I applaud it. I actually think it's great. Is it successful? I don't know. I don't think anybody here knows.
No,
we will know at some point, potentially. But I think it's rather clever.
I think it's super clever.
I think they're really still trying to target the market Mini is going after, and I think, and probably rightly so, is the cultural creatives, if you will, and they want something like this to go. This appeals to creative people, okay, and they're trying to push back to there, and I've seen that from Mini directly. I've heard them say, I've heard executives say that's who they're really going after and targeting right now,
right?
And well, that doesn't appeal to every.
It's called the creative class.
Yes, it doesn't appeal to every Mini owner, but I do get it, and I do think that in the automotive landscape that we've got in the United States right now, that Mini is one of the top, couple of cars that would appeal to that classification of people. Very creative-minded people who like to make things.
Agreed.
Filmmakers, musicians, all of the above.
Agreed.
So. I don't know. I guess we'll see. It's kind of cool. My initial reaction was kind of like, what? I mean, I see right. My problem is I always see right through this and go, here's the message they're trying to get across, and it's hard for me to take a step back and go, let's just look at it for what it is, and go, is it cool? Is it not cool? And I'm still undecided about whether it's cool.
But it can't be for. I think the trick is like you have to take away like your perception around it. If you're going to value, if you're going to judge it as successful, you can't. You have to not be you.
Right.
Know?
That's why I said I have to step back, and I can't look at it from a different eye because I've already looked at it with the analytical eye of, well, what are they trying to get? What's the point they're trying to get across here? And are they communicating that point effectively? And initially,
the truth is, Todd, they're not selling to you. They're not
selling
to me.
Exactly.
And I think that that probably is true to most people on Motoring File.
And most of our listeners as well.
And most of the listeners of White Roof Radio who are going to potentially comment and say how much shite this might be. That's not a bad word if it's in Irish, right?
You can use that word, Gib. It's okay. They use it on USA after the watershed. It's okay. I think this is better than the Cram in the Boot, whatever that was supposed to be. And I also appreciate this more than the photographs of tight pant wearing hipsters walking away from the car. I think
they weren't tight pants.
That doesn't matter. They're walking away. They're looking away. They were doing everything they were doing everything they could to get away from the car as quickly as possible. And I didn't really appreciate those ads. I didn't think they were well
DB,
done.
can you? I love this. Can you expand on that slightly? Because I believe that you have an interesting take on most of the photography that has been taken recently of minis in Europe.
I'm fairly certain that all the photography was also photoshopped with fake lighting.
So basically,
the shadows didn't line up right, and it was all done with overly creative Instagram filters.
It's all so. But the point there that I'm making is that you believe, and you may be right, that it's basically it's all of people trying to get away from a Mini.
Yes. If you look,
go back, people getting away.
Go back and look at any photo from that last campaign.
One of the funniest things I think I've ever heard. You may be right.
But
every photo is people walking away from the Mini.
Right. When he suggested that, you're looking at it now in a new light, going, you know what? He's right. He goes, I don't know if it's at the same meaning.
Oh my god!
Right, and to me, it's just like, why would I want to buy a car? You see the Mazda TV ads, and it's some guy driving on a really cool mountain road, totally in love with his car, and then Mini comes out with this photography ad campaign where everybody's walking away from the car, or they're leaning against it but not looking at it, or really just treating like the car like it's just not even there.
They're
Well,
unaffected.
commercials
They're
from a year-
unaffected by the car.
Yes,
And I think
completely
that's
unaffected by the car.
So can I just say something? This is a very modern approach to automotive photography, and DB, you are right to make fun of it. I think it is to some degree, it is ridiculous. It's marketers basically saying, "Oh, shite."
Right.
How do we figure this out?
Right.
We have all these people who don't really seemingly care about cars. All the data points tell us this,
Right.
but we're trying to sell them cars. Let's show those people, like in normal life
Not
circumstances,
caring
with
about
the
cars,
car,
but with our
with the
car.
car just in it.
Yeah, but and then we come back to this whole bit of creative that the stop motion stuff shot in the boot of a Countryman, and in comparison, this is brilliant. I would say this is. I would put this. This is some of the best stuff some best ideas that they've had in quite a while.
I would think so, because again, it's memorable, it's interesting, it's different.
Yep.
It's you walk away with an appreciation for potentially the brand if you're that like type of person, or you just walk away appreciative of the fact that that was a little bigger than I thought.
Exactly. Right, and that might get people to walk into the dealership and go, "Hey, I want to check out the car where they shot Spaceman in the back." You never know.
I guess in the end, I wonder how this is going to sell cars out, which is the end goal, realistically.
I'm with Chad on that one, because I don't see. I'm at the dealer quite frequently, and I literally, and granted, this is just the Kansas City market. We are the closest dealers to us are St. Louis, Omaha, Wichita. Okay, so we're drawing from the entire state of Kansas and a little bit beyond, most of Missouri. Anyway, my point is I see the people buying minis, and I especially see the people buying Countrymen, and they are not largely a creative class of people. They are largely a retired class of people.
Yes.
Well,
yes.
And that's definitely going to be a story for another day, and that's got a lot of that to do with pricing.
It's a dramatically different demographic based on where you are in just this country.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. I'm sure there are some creative people out on the coasts.
Possibly. Yes.
Well, I mean, in Chicago.
Chicago.
It's not even creative. It's just like a different demographic.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, there's different demographics everywhere. But, as a business owner, I always look at everything I do is how can I market my products or the products that I'm even selling to be better, for those people. And I'm still trying to figure out how Mini's doing that to sell cars to whoever, no matter whether it's the person that's like, I just need a car to go to A to B, or the person that is like totally into design and ideas and, or the guys
that's the dream, Chad. That's the dream that Mini has, is that they want to appeal to those people. But clearly in the U.S., the sales numbers, and I swear to you, you can check this out, the sales numbers over the last 4 years, since 2014, have not borne that. They've tanked. Yeah. They've just been going down and down and down. And I mean as a trend, and not just
we don't have to talk about that. We don't have to crush this, but I mean, the reality is the marketing isn't really. I mean, the marketing is a small little sliver of what could be the why.
It's not.
Probably not.
Do you think it has anything to do with post? Previous models that had a black eye on things too, as well. I mean,
I think that affects them. I think that affects them more than the hipsters walking away from the cars.
I agree. I agree.
Yeah, I also think it's the fact that it's gas has been cheap for a long time. People really don't even think about small cars.
People are going to buy small cars even if gas is cheap. I still see posts everywhere on Facebook and just on the internet in general where people are still just anti getting a Mini because they've heard that they're such a horribly built and unreliable car.
I mean, that's definitely part of it. But I mean, small cars the sales are just been decimated in this country.
For every brand, not just Mini.
That's true.
They're terrible for Honda, something that's been a stalwart for Honda. And when Ford announced they were killing all of their cars, the only car Ford is going to make anymore, the only non-truck or SUV, is going to be the Mustang.
And that Eco Focus, if they'll bring it to the States, but they probably won't because of tariffs.
No Focus. Focus is dead in the United States. Focus is gone.
They're still building it, and they might bring. They were supposed to bring the Eco one to the States, but now the word is that they're not because of tariffs.
Yep, they've already announced that they've killed everything but the Mustang, SUVs, and trucks as a brand, and a lot of analysts, came out and said, you know what, who's next? It's going to be something like Honda, because they're selling SUVs, and now they got a pickup truck, and they've got a minivan. So the majority of their sales have moved away from small cars, even sedans. Gabe is right. The writing's on the wall. Nobody's buying small cars in the United States, and that's not really the fault of any marketing in the U.S. There's so many other factors involved, and gas prices are definitely one of them.
And another thing, and this is something that we fail to recognize, is people that were born before Todd and I are at that age now where they need a car that's easier to get in and out of. And there are more of those people than anybody else.
Yeah, there's a ton of
the boomer
generational things.
The boomer generation is retiring, essentially, right? The bulk of them are starting to retire. And I don't know, when I'm 65 years old, I know if I've got a Roadster, there's no way it's going to be my daily driver because I don't think I'd be able to get in and out of it every day.
And can we say this is a nice segue, DB? A car that is easy to get in and out of? The new
Cooper what? I hated on the Cooper Countryman. The new Cooper Countryman. I was the first one in line to hate on that car because I had previous experience with the R60 in Cooper trim with an automatic, right?
But let me tell you, Gabe, you're going to love this story. So last week I go to Vegas, and DB, I'll let you finish here. Last I go to Vegas, and DB drives up from Phoenix to meet me, right?
Right.
So I get off the plane. I have a rental car, and it was like a mid-size class or something, and it said Kia Soul or equivalent, right? And I'm like, okay.
What's that noise?
Not me.
I'm eating my dinner.
Oh, so anyway, so I get off I get into the rental aisle, and they're like, okay, anything on this aisle? And what do I see next to the line of Kia Souls? A brand new Mini Cooper Countryman.
Are you kidding me?
No, I'm not kidding you. And I'm like, dude, that is my car. I'm getting this because DB's coming up. This is perfect. Yep. Absolutely perfect. So we spent a couple of days in this, DB, and now you can tell about your experience.
Yeah, so and I'm the first one to hate on the Cooper Countryman.
And this is an automatic, right?
Automatic
Cooper Countryman, yes.
Automatic Cooper Countryman, classic trim. So I've had experience with that in R60 form, and I don't know if any of you guys have actually had a chance to drive a Cooper R60 with an automatic transmission.
It was the most critical review I've ever written on Motor Pal.
Because it's really a horrible car. I would feel unsafe driving that car on the freeway because I don't believe that car actually can enter the freeway at freeway speeds.
Right? And it sucks is a nice way to say it.
Yeah, it sucks.
Well, you should try a Mini 1 Countryman.
Oh, no thanks. So anyway, so I've got that, and then so Todd goes, oh, hey, we got a Countryman. And Gabe had previously said the Cooper Countryman is a really good car. And I'm just like, nah, I don't think so. I'm not buying it. So Todd goes, hey, we're going to go down, check out a new Pal Station. Let's get in the Countryman. 800 pounds of people, turbocharged 3-cylinder and a Countryman. And we get on the freeway doing 90 miles an hour with an automatic transmission and the air conditioning at full tilt because we were in Vegas and it was 110 degrees.
Right.
So perfect.
And it had no issues getting in and out of traffic.
Nope.
It handled well. It didn't feel sloppy.
Nope. I didn't feel car sick. None of that. I thought the interior was really nice.
Was it all-wheel drive or front-wheel drive?
No, it was just the front-wheel drive. It was not an all.
So it had the old transmission too.
Yeah. Yep.
Oh yeah.
Didn't even have the 8-speed.
So
no,
it was.
It didn't. Just had the 6-speed, I guess.
Yep.
Pod?
Yeah. Smooth as glass. Had plenty of power.
That's the image for this week's show, by the way. Todd and I with the picture of that car.
And the most interesting thing, Gabe, it had the small display and had the touchscreen display.
Yep.
Which it was that late 18 or no, it had to be a 19 because it had the new badge.
Yeah, and they all did it. Okay. They all have that now, and it's pretty usable. I mean, obviously, it's like that small display is kind of like always left wondering.
Yeah,
I thought have a little bit more display.
I thought that was a nice car. I still think it's a little bit too spendy, especially in base trim. But as far as like power and comfort and all that stuff, like air conditioning was blown on the backseat passengers.
But how much?
No trouble.
What was the MSRP? Did you figure that out?
On that car, no. I think it was probably 25, 26, something like that.
But think about the average car price in the United States is $36,000.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, to me, like a high 20s Countryman
with
a few options, it's a pretty nice car.
Yeah, classic.
I mean,
classic trim on a Countryman Cooper is $27,400.
Okay.
Right? Is that right?
I mean, I recognize that like part of me is offended by that price.
Yeah, and
But the
after
other
sitting
part
on the
is,
inside of
like,
that car, I'm just going, I don't know. But I mean, it's nice, to be sure. It is definitely nice.
But those cars, I will tell you, as a I've got a Countryman, had a lot of minis, and
And that
last few years,
concrete
obviously. They're made well. Like,
Oh, that car was super solid.
The quality is
Yeah.
so dramatically different than it has been.
And the interior is like the fit and finish of the interior was really nice.
Mm-hmm.
I liked it. I did, and it had that really cool concrete color. The Moonwalk Gray looks like wet concrete.
Which is the
Love
only no charge color Mini offers anymore.
Which is and it may be the best color they offer.
Yeah, it definitely needs a contrasting roof, either black or white.
But you can't get that with the.
But you can't get it in classic trim, right? But yeah,
As somebody who doesn't have a contrasting roof right now, I take offense.
yeah. No,
Well, anyway, so it was fun because I think DB was pleasantly surprised, as was I.
Pleasantly surprised, yeah.
We
to
drove
say the
this thing
least.
around Vegas in the heat for 3 days, and it was phenomenal.
I would drive that car as my daily driver.
Yep.
Right?
Really?
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely.
best-
Maybe with a manual transmission. I'd have to drive it with the automatic. I didn't get a chance to actually drive the car. But yeah, for sure. Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. And I just got to have a contrasting roof is all. Right?
We definitely enjoyed that. And Gabe, have you also heard? And I just saw a post from an
Island Blue White would be nice.
the
BRG
LCI
White.
Countryman, the one that's selling now with even the small
Blue, not
screen
green, white.
has.
So you said the LCI Countryman? What did you say?
Well, not the recent one. After they just did some up, they didn't really do LCI
Yes.
for the Countryman.
Oh,
But
Yeah.
the 19 models in Europe and
Yep.
other parts of the world,
Yep.
CarPlay is enableable on the small screen now. And I actually
wouldn't surprise me.
I grabbed a picture of it. It's not in the U.S. yet, but somebody asked the question and went, "Oh yeah, I went into the dealer, and they looked at it, and I plugged in my iPhone with the cable, and sure enough, CarPlay just automatically came up." And they went, "Oh, cool! We didn't know that they were coming with this." Like it's a fairly new, and this was literally within the last week that somebody took a delivery of a new Countryman, and it just had the small display. And I'll put the picture over in Slack so you guys can see it.
cool.
But it's a picture of the small screen with CarPlay activated.
Nice.
You can definitely tell it's the Countryman.
I just sent you guys, and it's in here right now, a picture of another option enabled in the Countryman. Did you see it yet?
Yeah.
No,
Did it show up?
where'd you send it?
Did you put it in Slack?
Probably in
I
Slack.
see a picture of bourbon.
No, that's Chad.
No, that's
It's sending.
It's Star Wars bourbon, not just
Oh.
bourbon.
Got it. Now you
Well,
see,
and
but
then-
now let's if we keep talking about the Countryman.
No, there you go.
Oh yeah, Star Wars.
You'll
There it
see
is.
Nice.
Star Wars, nice. But I'm looking at this Countryman and going up to the Classic just because I get the Classic because I gotta have a contrasting roof on a Mini, and the price goes up to $31,700.
You have failed me for the last time.
It's
What?
just like, ugh.
Admiral. But
Okay.
but there's lots of stuff happening there.
That's a lot of money for just a Cooper. You know what I'm saying?
Does anybody else is impressed by the fact that I'm watching Empire Strikes Back on my nav?
I think it's pretty awesome.
That's kind of cool.
I mean,
A little
All you gotta do
distracting,
is
but I
pull
think
up
it's
the
cool.
e-brake in one click, and you're done.
Here's the question, Gabe. Is it wireless, though, or you have to be plugged in for that?
no. So it's a Bimmer Code. You know Bimmer Code,
The one I told you about, the app I told you
Yeah.
about.
So I reached out to that gentleman.
Yep.
It was somewhere in Eastern Europe, and we've worked together on a few things. He's got, I'll write about it in Motorfile, but he's got some updates coming to E-Series, mini BMWs, and potentially Minis.
Yeah.
But one of the things you can do with that app is you can enable
Video play.
video play through different codecs.
Yeah.
So you can plug in a USB stick to your Mini and play as many movies as you could possibly have on that USB stick.
I'm just gonna be the one guy to be like, "Is that safe?"
Yeah. Is that really
Now I'm gonna be the one
something?
guy, Chad, who sucker punches you.
Yeah.
Isn't that really something you should be doing when you drive? And just for the record, just
well, let me just
because
tell
I'm
you,
trying to stay on topic and
nothing
everybody
is
else
more
is kind of
impressive.
yanking me here.
Let's take out the cup holders so it's easier for people not to get in accidents.
Just for the record,
Let me-
moonwalk gray with a white top actually looks like it would be really nice.
So
yeah.
let me say for the record, nothing impresses 3 6-year-olds coming back from soccer practice more
Star
than
Wars.
Empire Strikes Back.
This is true. This is
The
very true.
navigation.
Yes.
Well, having their own
I mean-
screen on the back of the headrest would be more impressive, Gabe. Come on.
No, this
Step
is
up, dude.
in a sense. This is
This is
actually more
pimp your
impressive
ride.
because it's so unexpected.
Well, okay, sure enough.
It was precious. Anyway, my point is that it's good stuff. Some good stuff hidden in there. My Mini currently sounds like a Rolls Royce, by the way.
Because you've changed you've made the Rolls Royce sounds for that. I did
Yes,
that.
and-
Oh, you know what? Total side note here. Speaking of Rolls Royces, next year we're actually having a Rolls Royce Dino Day.
Nice.
I know.
I think that's a great idea.
Wrap your head around that one.
You gonna stock up on Grey Poupon, Chad?
We're actually getting catering
Whoa.
for that day, but yeah,
Hey, it's a Troy tune, man.
it's not current Rolls Royces. It's all vintage Rolls Royces. So
Yeah, that'd be
That's such
fun.
a great idea.
yeah.
Yeah, you're gonna need a lot of tarps and drip pans and
Well,
things like that.
But these people are planning a year in advance, so that kind of puts it all into perspective here.
Yeah,
Nice.
Yes.
yeah, because they
So-
have to plan out the best route they can take without having to drive at night.
From Detroit. Yes.
Yes, within Detroit. And also,
now
can
continue.
I bring it back to Mini one more time? As I'm still looking at the Cooper Countryman, and can I just say that the new chestnut color is the new Grandpa Gold?
It's awesome.
I know melted
Really?
silver is kind of Grandpa Goldish, but the chestnut is honestly that's the new Grandpa Gold.
It's awful.
Really?
Yeah, at least it looks like that way on the website. I haven't seen it live in person. Have you seen that color live in person, Gabe?
Oh yeah. Oh,
And
yeah.
it probably looks really stylish with a white top, but it's just like that's Grandpa Gold.
It's one of those. Yeah, it's one of those colors that it's tough. It's a tough color.
That's
to
a tough
deal
color.
with.
Yeah, it is. Anyway, that's our take on the Countryman, pretty much from the front to the back. What do you know? It's like what we did there. Except we started in the back with the whole video thing. No. Okay. And then earlier this week, if we can just go ahead and move on. Earlier this week, Gabe got phone calls and messages on the internet and death threats and Black 7 Series parked in front of his house
Yes.
because he posited on motoringfile.com that BMW could kill the Mini 3-door hatch. I'm just saying.
So
I think that
it's
would
true,
be
and-
that would be a disastrous nightmare, but that's just me. What do I know?
Yeah. So and I agree. For the record, in fact, I wrote an opinion piece just after that saying, it's crazy. So and again, this isn't my opinion. This is based on sources who
that's
have
right.
heard discussion around it.
I apologize for the
and I
misstep.
thought,
Yes.
no, it's okay. And I thought that it's worth posting about. I mean, I think it's worth people discussing, and it's worth people getting angry about. Get angry about it. Like be vocal about how terrible that sounds, because I think it sounds terrible. I think it sounds ridiculous.
I think it sounds terrible and ridiculous, with the exception of what is coming. And we know the electrification of all cars is coming in our very near future. Okay? So the Mini hatch as we know it is probably going to die. It's going to have to be redesigned. But it makes more sense to electrify a small car, to me anyway, engineering-wise, than it does to electrify the Countryman. Okay?
Okay.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't. I will disagree with you there.
Okay?
The critical mass of batteries required to attain the magical 300 plus miles range
Requires more space.
dictates a certain volume.
So
That
it
volume, if you put it in a mini hatch, it eats away at the actual volume that humans need.
It does for now, but look at the i3
Right.
for example.
Yeah. There's an
And-
article out there that's about that.
Yeah. The article that the tuning company came along and they took an i3 and they basically gave it a 300-mile range,
So-
and 15 minutes of charge.
Okay, so I will say this. it's like the companies producing turbos that created 600 horsepower turbos in 1980.
Yeah.
You know, like we're like, and subsequently it took 2 to 3 decades for automakers to be able to do that, like safely and warranted. So yeah, I mean, you know, would that work? I mean, can that work? Yeah, I think, you know, that's on its way. But the reality is, it's not going to be. We're not going to see that with, you know, the 2019 Mini E. Like that car is going to be, like, at most going to have 200 miles of range. At most, probably
not going to have a back seat either. And because of the space required for batteries, it's probably not going to have a back seat.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be interesting.
And so
I think
what you just did, Gabe, was basically gave the argument for one of the reasons that the 3-door hatch is probably going to go away is because it's not practical for electrifying like it is a larger car because there's no room for batteries.
Right.
But so and then BMW has gone on record and said that their goal is to have every car they sell will have a petrol, hybrid, and electric version. Now, depends on, I mean, every car they sell, you know, is it really every, is it like most, you know, is every like the 5-door hatch, but not the 3? Who knows? But I think clearly the writing is on the wall, and they want to be able to allow for that. The problem in this case is that you're talking about a brand whose identity is wrapped up in the smallest car they sell.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
It's literally the name of the company.
Well, I mean, everything's a Mini.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, it's, you know, it's true.
No, I get that. And in addition to, I mean, looking at the future of where BMW Mini is going, like in the U.S., they just announced that there's no more diesels in the U.S. Like, now it's zero. A line has been drawn in the sand, like immediately. No more diesels are coming to the U.S. No more BMW diesels from this point on. That's it. They're done.
Yeah, and that's too bad.
So, well, I don't think it's too bad because I think the plug-in hybrids are actually working. I think they're getting the kinks worked out. And
but oh man, a Mini Cooper S with a diesel motor. Man, I would have driven that car. Like for reals, I would have driven that car. Oh well.
Yeah, but I think as batteries get cheaper and more powerful, I think that's going to be the technology where, you know, everything's going at this point. That's our immediate future.
That is what's next.
Yeah, and
I was hoping it would be hydrogen, but nobody's going to get around quick enough to work on the distribution of hydrogen. So that's definitely going to be what's next.
Yeah, I wonder about that. Everybody talks about fuel cells and hydrogen. A lot of automakers have been talking about it for a while, but yeah, where's the infrastructure is
oil companies.
Tough.
Oil companies.
Yeah.
Oil companies, they can't sell hydrogen. They sell oil.
And the infrastructure for electricity now, everywhere you go, there's a plug-in for electric cars.
Correct.
There's every parking lot. It used to just be a handful of places. Now,
we saw a really random one. Where was it? Like at the Bootlegger? Was there an electric car parking space there?
Yeah.
It was completely random. Just like, oh, look at that. Someplace to park and charge my electric car while I'm having,
Italian food. Yep.
Italian food. Crazy. Yep. Just crazy. I mean, you can do it at Denny's too. Anyway.
There you go.
Interesting stuff.
Hey, something else that happened while we were gone from the last show is we got some spy shots of the GP3 test mule.
I knew Todd was excited about that. I got a lot. I got text messages about this thing. And it's just like, come on.
So I've heard two numbers: 280 horsepower.
Okay.
And front-wheel drive.
Front-wheel drive, 280 horsepower.
The other is 300 horsepower, and they are going to shoehorn the all-wheel drive into it.
Well, and so here's where that gets interesting, Gabe, is because it kind of partners with the story you wrote about the X2 M235. Is that right?
Yep, that's the engine.
And that is the same engine. It's the same B48 engine that is currently in the JCW.
Well, it's a different tune. It's a different, and there's differences to it as well.
The block is the same. The turbo is probably the same. They may have a larger turbo in there.
Yeah, it's different. There's this very specific, not to get too ridiculous, but there is a very specific
the same bones for the engine. Is in the JCW now, a 2-liter, and they've got it pumping out 300 horsepower. And this is a
302.
302.
It is the B48A20T1.
Yeah.
And it is a 302 horsepower, 332 foot-pound of torque engine that does 0 to 60, and this is with the 3,700 pound
4.9 seconds.
X2 in 4.9 seconds.
Yep. Can you imagine that in a
That's-
1,000-pound lighter car?
Yeah. That's
Can you
that's
imagine
And
that's
all-wheel drive.
and if they do that, that's they do that with a GP. That's Focus RS territory right there,
And no, it absolutely is, DB. You're right.
right?
Yeah,
Because the Focus
it
RS
is.
is what 350 horsepower all-wheel drive.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and if they can pull that off, a 300 horsepower Mini that weighs less than a Focus RS, dude, unbelievable. That'll be crazy. I want that for my daily driver on my 25 mile an hour commute.
Here's my problem. My problem is my lease is up in 6 months. It just got the information from Mini, and they're like, hey, you're getting close to the end. You got 6 months left. And so I'm kind of screwed in this because I wanted to wait until the GP was available, and it looks like it's going to be a full year off. Okay?
Right, which leaves you with 6 months.
We're talking 2020.
You can live for a year with one car.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll get a bike.
Get a Miata. Get a Miata. Equinox 3.
Well, you're pretty tight with the dealer. You could just get a demo for a little while.
Dude, there you go. It's like, what do you guys got on the demo lot that I can drive for a couple days?
Just keep looking.
And the demo could be your old car. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
Yeah.
Chad, I like the way you think, my friend.
Right?
That's brilliant. Yeah.
Nah.
Gabe, are you excited for the new GP?
I'm excited. I think it's the last GP was pretty incredible in terms of how basic it was. I mean, how focused it was on the track.
Right.
Much more than the first. I think that this second one, I suspect they will probably make it a little bit more focused on performance figures as well.
Okay.
So I'm thrilled. I can't wait. I think that it would be really interesting if they did not get rid of the back seat.
That just seems to be a signature of the GP, though, Gabe.
But
Yeah.
why? I'm gonna say the
Because it's a
unpopular
track car.
thing.
It's a dedicated.
No, it's not. No, it's not.
It's
That was
It's a street legal race car.
But the whole
So
idea
here's
of
the deal.
GP
Why
was
does
that
it matter? Why does it matter? Like, how much weight are you really saving?
I don't know. They didn't even put cruise control on the GP2.
Right.
Why would
Because it was a
they get rid
dedicated
of the
track
back
car.
seat? Why
What
would they? No, that was to save money.
It wasn't on the 2? I knew it wasn't on the 1.
No, it was
No,
on the
are you
one.
sure
I had
it
cruise
was on the
control on the
two?
GP1. You actually got cruise control on that car.
Really?
You did
Yeah.
not. What do
It
you
came with the multifunction steering wheel.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the
okay.
GP2 did not have a multi.
Well, regardless, all I say is the GP2 had a full navigation, full Bluetooth. It was, in a sense, it was fully loaded.
No, it didn't have a multifunction steering wheel, Gabe, and it didn't have nav.
It didn't have
I don't
nav.
think they'll
Yeah,
make
yes,
it
it
as
did. Yes,
much of
it
a
did.
track car this
No,
time.
It
it
had
did-
nav.
It didn't have nav. I've seen like 3 or 4 of them in Arizona. The GP2 did not have nav.
I'm thinking of the other more expensive
The
version.
WC50.
Yeah, that one had nav.
But the GP2 was kind of stripped down like the GP1. You know,
Well, regardless, my point is, I think that they're going to create a car that is a little bit more accessible and faster.
And Gabe, I want to ask you one more
that'd be
question.
fine.
I want to ask you one more question about the GP pictures that we've seen. Is how close to looking like the Flying Nun is that rear spoiler really going to be?
very close.
Do you think so? All right. Well, I'm going to go back and start watching Smokey and the Bandit again.
Not that there's anything wrong with that.
Well, I just watched it. It doesn't hold up. Anyway, good stuff right there. Who else has anything else? Anybody? Good. Let me tell you guys about our friends over at cravenspeed.com really quick while the boys figure out if there's anything else I want to talk about. Cravenspeed.com. Go check them out. They make all the really cool custom stuff out of carbon fiber and unobtainium for your Mini and any other car you might happen to have in your driveway. If you want to look for something that Cravenspeed has that's not for a Mini, I want you to click over cravenspeed.com. Make sure you click on the Browse by Make. Find the other car that happens to be in your driveway. Click on the brand and see what they offer for that car. Good chance they're going to have something really cool and something cool beyond the shorty antenna, right? Maybe you get a cool platypus license plate mount for your car. That maybe that There's all kinds of really cool stuff. But we're minis, so we care about mini stuff. We care about the FlexPod adapter. We do, of course, care about the platypus license plate mount so you don't have to drill holes in your front bumper like an animal. We do care about the stubby antenna because it's kind of cool. We do care about the dipstick. If you drive a first or second gen Mini Cooper, it still has a dipstick in it because you want to be able to read your oil level with the dipstick, and you don't want to break the dipstick when you take it out, put it in, right? Right. We do care about the Gemini mount. We love the shift knobs. We love the short shift kit, all from CravenSpeed.com. And we're R53 owners. We love the Craven Speed pulley because it makes our car super fast. It's awesome. We also love the rad return policy at CravenSpeed.com as well. I want you guys to go over and check them out. They're OG sponsors of White Roof Radio and Motoring File for a long time. They do great stuff. They've been doing great stuff forever. What you do is you go over there, order something. And when you do place your order, there's a comment form there on the order form. I want you to make sure you say thanks for supporting White Roof Radio. We really appreciate that. So do they. They, of course, being our friends over at CravenSpeed, CravenSpeed.com. Todd, what did you just post in our Slack?
Oh, just a picture of the GP3 with the size of the brakes. Look at the front. They
Oh my
filled
God.
the entire wheel.
My God, those are huge. And they get, and in comparison, it's like it's got Cooper brakes in the back, or like the brakes off of your old XB in the back.
Back's not doing any other work.
No.
No, those are actually the standard brakes. There's no difference there.
No,
The
Gabe,
fronts though, Todd.
Gabe, I have the standard brakes. Those
I'm
are
talking
not
about
the
the
standard.
backs.
Oh,
I'm
the
talking about
backs.
the backs.
Yeah, the backs are the standard brakes. The front
the
brakes,
fronts-
that's the 1 series. Like
The
from
fronts are still
6
4
pot.
pots though, which is interesting. These are still 4 pots.
Look at the size of those rotors, though. Oh my God.
You can tell by the. I mean, they clearly show you where the actual
I mean,
pot.
those
There's
rotors
no
are
few
those rotors
that
are
big.
insane.
No way, my rotors are that big.
You need 18-inch wheels
No,
just to
those
fit
are-
the rotors.
I look at them.
So I think that the rotor and the calipers upsize. Otherwise, the only other scenario, the only other way that makes sense is if those wheels are 17s, which I don't think they are. I think they're 18s.
Yeah, they fill too much of that. They fill too much.
But
of
it's
that.
the same design though. What's
brakes are
interesting
huge.
to me, look closely and you'll notice that the plastic in the front is molded out. So they are actually
wider
very
track.
slightly, it's wider.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. All right.
In the front,
And I can't tell whether they did that
front-
with spacers or longer axles.
the front only is only the front has that flare.
Okay.
Yep. It does
All right.
not.
So,
like,
so
Well, what's-
Todd, is
what's
this a
also
car you're
interesting-
gonna? Is this a Todd? Is this a car you're gonna hold out for, or are you gonna get a Volvo, or are you gonna get an Audi R8, or are you gonna get a Land Rover?
hey, I'm not holding out for this. I think by the time it comes out, I may get in line for one. But I got to make a decision on something here. And I'll tell you today, once again, I went and played hey, which one of these cars is going to be cheaper for me in the short term? A new JCW or a Volvo XC40 R-Type?
Mm-hmm.
And the XC40 R-Type is $100 a month less
Really?
for the same price car. They're both 40 grand cars. And
Are you leasing?
yeah, for a lease, because the residuals on the Volvo are so much higher. And that's it's all fake. I mean, the company makes them whatever they want them to be. They estimate what the car's going to be worth at the end of 3 years. And right now, the JCWs are not holding their value to that point. Or, I should say, they're depreciating a little bit more. So,
Yeah.
I don't know. It's kind of depressing. And I know I can always get a deal at my dealer. And I may just, beat them to death and go, hey, let's make this deal. This is what I want. Let's make this happen.
Right.
We did that last time.
Right. Even if it's a short-term lease on a Cooper Countryman.
Yeah.
Why
And
not?
they don't. I think the shortest I can get is a 3-year lease.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
But
well,
I don't know. I'm telling you, I'm looking at other brands and I'm looking at cheaper cars. Just like, you know what? And I think, like I said, what we're gonna do is turn the JCW in.
right.
I may take the Roadster and start modding it out.
Oh, right. You talked about that when we were in Vegas, right?
Stage 3 tune on it and just
Right.
lower it.
Have
and
it
do some
spit fire and all that thing.
Yeah, do some crazy stuff. And that'll be my car for the interim until the GP3 comes out.
Got it. That would be okay.
and then we'll get a family ride.
Right. Yeah.
Oh, a minivan?
No. Like an of all the XC40 is at the top of my list right now. But hey, after being in Vegas, my lady friend was like, you know what? This Cooper Countryman is not bad.
Yeah.
No, they're not actually. I mean, everybody that I talked to at the Dragon this year that had one, I asked them, plain and simple, how do you like this car? And they all loved it.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it handled well. It had all the room that they needed. It was comfortable, and God, the seats are amazing in the new ones. So, I mean, it really is not a bad car. So,
yeah,
it's also comfortable in and out of the back of the car. Believe it or not.
Yeah, it was.
Well,
hey, really quick.
The fact that seat can move back and forth, it's
really
way back there.
The only thing I didn't like was you had to lower the seat you had to do it from inside the car. You couldn't do it from the boot.
Yeah, you can't put the back seats down from the back. You got to pull it on. You got to open.
That's how the clubbing is too.
Yeah,
it
sucks.
It sucks.
Terrible.
That's the only thing that really sucked about that. I know Gabe has to leave. Gabe, thank you very much for joining us tonight. As always, we do appreciate any time you can give us. Mr. Gabe Bridger from motoringfile.com, everybody. Please, a big round of applause for Mr. Bridger. There's not going to be a round of applause.
And cheers to all. Cheers to all.
Very good, sir. We'll talk to you again soon,
right.
Gabe. Thanks.
Peace out.
Later, man.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Go easy, go easy, go easy. Okay, good. And now we're done with Gabe. Easy. Who wants to talk trash on Gabe? Anybody?
No.
Okay. It was nice having him on. It's always nice having Gabe. He always brings the true fanboy perspective.
Here, okay. I'm gonna show you.
He doesn't listen to the show anyway, so.
Yeah, just for your guys' entertainment, DB, you can wrap the show too, because I'm gonna pull up a comparison for you guys to look at in Slack of the current JCW brakes and compare them to the GP3, and they are wildly different.
Awesome. So we're going to go ahead and do that. So what I want you guys to do, first of all, because we're done with the show. Thanks for joining us again. Another great show by the boys. I really appreciate that. Don't forget, there was a brand new episode of Black Roof Radio up at the Patreon page this week. Patreon.com/White Roof Radio. Help support the show. That would be super duper awesome. Any amount you want to kick in to get the extra behind the scenes stuff, the inside baseball, us talking about Apple stuff, or Gabe being ridiculous and dropping a lot of cuss bombs. Whichever, it's really cool. It's a lot of fun. You should go check it out. Patreon.com/White Roof Radio. There's that. I want you guys to make sure that you take a minute and go over to DetroitTuned.com. I'm actually going to link up. I said I was going to link it up before, but I couldn't find it because the new website wasn't ready. I'm actually going to link up the tuning options that you can get from Detroit Tune, our man Marzo. If you're in the shop, the things that he can tune your car to do, really awesome stuff. So I'll get that linked up for you guys, but go check out the new site. It works on your phone too, works on tablets. It's super awesome, and everything's really easy to find. So go look at it, DetroitTune.com, please. There's even a picture of Chad's airbag car there. Looks really rad, super awesome.
Yeah, fun car.
Mm-hmm. And then also I want you to go over to motoringstripes.com. I know winter's coming up, but still, you got to put some cool stuff on your Mini. Go over to motoringstripes.com because blank is boring.
And there's some cool stuff coming for the holidays.
Oh, there is. Oh, nice.
Yep.
So cool stuff coming for the holidays. So keep an eye on motoringstripes.com.
Wiping out all the MTTS merchandise is now going.
Nice. Oh, it's all gone?
It as of today, I just literally we're sitting here and just got my last order. And I'm like, okay,
there you go.
Done.
That's it. It's simple. That takes care of that. Motoringstripes.com because, blank is boring. But we are done for the week, gang. Thanks again for sticking with us and listening and staying subscribed. If you happen to be listening at whiteroofradio.com or motoringfile.com or on Facebook or Twitter, really the hot ticket is to subscribe. You can do that a couple different ways. You go over to whiteroofradio.com. There's a link there either to grab us on the Apple Podcast app. You can also listen to us on Google Play. You can find us anyway. Find our podcasts are found, including Spotify, Stitcher, TuneIn Radio. You can listen to White Roof Radio on your Amazon Alexa. Any way you can think of listening to White Roof Radio, please try to do that. And it's better than listening on one of the sites. That way it just comes to you when it's ready, and then you don't have to screw around. It's just like, oh, look, a new episode of White Roof Radio. That was kind of neat. I didn't have to go chase it down. Simple, simple, simple. Anyway, get yourself subscribed. It's a hot ticket. Anyway, we are done. So this is the part of the show where I do like to make that funny clicking sound, and then I say... Questions, comments, or concerns, go ahead and click back over to whiteroofradio.com. There you can leave us a note in the show notes. You can also email us, feedback@whiteroofradio.com. But until next week, gang, this is DB. I'm done.
Cheers.
See ya. I'm updating my Zillow house facts because I'm thinking about moving.
Oh.
I'm updating my Zune player.
I'm updating my Tinder profile. Oh wait, I don't have a Tinder profile.
While you read MC Squared.
Wait a minute, I'm updating my LinkedIn. How's that?
Hey, I just updated my LinkedIn. Shut up. I got
I actually
got
just
cheap
took
jobs.
off my LinkedIn off the website.